It's time for a package from China. It's Retro Game 300 time. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in today's video we are going to take a close look at the Retro Game 300. So you can see having one box and two handhelds. The reason why, because this is going to be more like a revisiting 2020 and we're going to do a side-by-side comparison because we're having two versions. We're having the normal and the IPS version. And so far I know that the hardware itself is a little bit the same, but nevertheless let's do a little bit of a side-side chit-chatting and let's play some games. Is this thing empty or? Alright, so let's take a close look at one of the Retro Game 300 systems. So what you already can see, there are some different colors out there. I assume there was a black version or transparent black version. What I really like about the EPS and non-EPS version is that it's just a really great handheld. It's a little bit small, so if you're having big hand, this can be a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest. So when you're pressing the shoulder buttons, you can move to the next menu here at the top. It's the same with all these opendingux devices. What I really love about opendingux, there's a big community behind it, and they are still releasing, for example, homebrew games, what you can see over here. There are homebrew games that are basically ports from the PC, like Jazz the Jackrabbit, Duke Nukem, Wolfenstein, you name it, it's here on this machine. And also we're having games like the Sonic and the Hedgehog. Pretty cool, but keep in mind that this device is not super powerful, so some of the homebrew games and including some emulators will not run perfectly. For example, PlayStation 1, it's playable, but not with every single game. So that is something that's a little bit of a downside with the Retro Game 300. It's a very cute device. It looks amazing. I really love the shoulder buttons. In total we're having 6 buttons. It's not enough if you want to play PlayStation game, for example, and let's say Future Cup that needs 8 of them because you need to do certain moves. The D-pad itself on this device is very good, and funny thing is it doesn't even matter which version you buy, it's exactly the same. So the biggest difference between these are the displays, and I will do a side-by-side comparison for you. Okay, so let's do a quick look at, for example, the Descent number 1. Pretty cool. The sound of this device is very good. At the side we can find a little scrolling wheel. What I find very cool that even with these ports that are 3-dimensional games run very well. Great sound. I don't know if you ever played this game, but it's pretty cool. Oh man, skip the bullshit please. Let's load up. And with the shoulder buttons, you can play this game very nice. I don't know if you have ever played a game like this on a handheld, but it is very comfortable. You really need to get used to the controls, but what you can hear, it runs smooth, it sounds great. A little bit dark, so I think I need to adjust the brightness. But you're getting the point. So what I really like about the retro game, that the low end stuff runs pretty well. And in combination with a very nice display and a good grip, you have a very nice and awesome way to play these old Sega games. You don't have the problems like with the cheap devices from China. I call for example the X16, that you don't have buttons that are not mapped and you can't reconfigure everything. What I like, because they are basically separate emulators, you can do some tweaking, you can just mess around with the settings if you want to or it's needed. But it's maximum volume, and you can hear between the systems you can have a little bit of difference between the sound levels. Alright, let's play a little bit of my favorite game. I don't know where the music went, but that is something that sometimes happens. Alright, let's go to the main menu. But it's really funny that it only happens with this version, but at the end, let's play in the game and let's see if we can get my music back. Oh yeah. Lower the volume a little bit. It was a little bit too much. So now it's time to do the side-by-side comparison with the biggest difference, the LCD display inside. So here at the left you're having the older version and at the right we're having the newer version. And you can see it's a significant difference. To begin with is the view angle. I don't have this very, let's say, big view angle now, but still you can already see that this thing has a little bit of a problem because it's not an IPS screen. So it has a very, let's say, when I say poor, but the view angle is less than the previous model. So what you can see also with the IPS here at the right, that the colors are way better. I will boot up the game. You can see everything looks so much clearer on the right display. And that is the biggest and just basically the significant difference between the two systems. The audio and everything is the same. Of course this thing has a little different layout, but I think the color, that is something you can basically buy with different sellers. So you just need to take in consideration when you're buying a retro game 350, just pay a couple of extra euros, dollars, depends where you live of course, and then get yourself an IPS, because this makes this thing complete. Funny thing is, when making the first review of the retro game 300, my biggest complaint was the screen itself. And now, with the improvement, I just love it, to be honest. Okay, so there you have it. This is the retro game 300 system. I just want to do this quick recap in combination with a side-by-side, because I have never did this side-by-side before. I really love this handheld, and that's the reason why I'm doing this revision in 2020. This handheld has been maybe forgotten by many, because I think the biggest problem when having with these devices that there are so many out there nowadays. I would say in 2020 now the invasion is a bit less, but in 2019 it was just crazy. It was just a freaking nightmare, to be honest, because there were so many. So this is what you're going to get. Let me know. Maybe you already own a retro game 300. Let me know in the comments which one do you own, or are you interested in it. Let me know. I want to thank you for watching. It would be awesome to have you here in the community, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and see you in the next video.